Hello, my name is Zy Paris. I am making this video to talk a little bit about doing home share in the province of British Columbia. Although I imagine a lot of this can be transferred to other locations. This is particularly in response to some of the recent changes with funding and whatnot, and some of the directives being given. First thing you should know really is that this is a low budget field and there's not a lot of resources available in terms of either um, finances or actual personal on the ground resources in terms of people helping you out, even medical, mental health, whatnot. You're also going to incur extra expenses if you do take on home share clients, extra insurance for your house, for your car. We have to pay something called personal options protection, which is an additional insurance in case for some reason you can't work, then it's something they say people need to have. That's an extra several $100s a year. When you do your first aid, if you were previously working in a group home or with an organization, they would send you off to get a first aid course done, and they would pay for that. Now you have to pay for that yourself, and you have to obviously cover whoever you're taking care of. They need to be, so you got to get respite or somebody to take care of them or get that handled in whatever way, when you go take a first aid course. Again, in the way of personal resources, mental health teams, psychiatrists, don't imagine there's a lot of that there. I mean, technically, the resources do exist, but it's thin. I mean, a guy I knew was assigned a psychiatrist, and he had like one meeting a month for an hour. That was it. It's very little you could do. All they kind of do is update the meds, talk a little bit. Just that's it. There's not a whole lot practical that can be done unless you're paying that out of your own pocket. Um, uh, Communication at the top can be inconsistent, I think is the best way to put it. I mean, this with what's happening with the province now is a very good indication of how things run in general. For example, the Office of a Premier sends out a notice saying, okay, everyone's getting pay raises. And then 6 months later, CLBC issues a statement saying, just kidding, it's not everybody, those with exceptional circumstances, whatever those are. Like it's vaguely worded. I have no idea what that means. I guess they're saying that people at the top of the pay hierarchy aren't getting any sort of increase because they're getting enough, apparently. And even though, one, the province said everyone's getting an increase, and two, these are the people, obviously, who are having the most demanding clients, the most high behavioral issues or medical issues, or just the emotional strain has been allotted. I mean, in the first place, that these are the most challenging clients to work with. And they're saying that these people are not getting any money. So in the last pay increase was like 10 years ago, and they're saying these people aren't getting anything this time around. They will see who does and who doesn't, and if there's a brouhaha, arising from all that. But I know a buddy of mine who's been doing this for 13 years, same client, and has had zero increase. And my guess is he's going to get zero this time around. And the guy he's actually working with, his client has actually had multiple strokes and is almost incapacitated at this point, and they've still given him zero increase more, even though the needs have obviously gone up. So it's really a sad statement on the state of affairs, really on a personal level, both for the caregiver and for the clients themselves, for the people who are being supported, because they're then being told, okay, well, you can't have any more funding for this guy, and if you want more funding or demand more funding, we're just going to put him in a home. That's it. So he's just going to, I assume, they're going to put him in a wheelchair, stick him in somewhere where he's got a room or shared room or in a corner most of the day, and make sure he's fed, and that'll be it. His quality of care is going to go down dramatically. And that's kind of the bottom line. And the reason I'm making these videos is that I was not told this coming in. I was not told coming in that you could do this work for 15, 20 years and get zero increase for cost of living, allowances. We all know everything goes up. I was told in kind of in vague general terms that there would be support provided. And that has not materialized in nearly the degree I would have thought. That doesn't mean don't go into this. I think I'm just saying be savvy. Ask the hard questions, especially if you're taking on a high needs client, someone with behavioral issues or medical issues, or often there's both going on. And we know at the higher end of things, there's just a great deal of emotional strain just on a daily basis, because this work is 24/7. Yeah, we don't get the month off or the 2 weeks off or the 3 weeks off, just kind of as a default sort of thing. You got to try and figure that out. And if nobody can handle the circumstances of your particular client, if the resources just aren't available, if those respite people just aren't available, if you can't train them, in enough time to get them up to speed to take that time off, then you are on your own. Again, this is stuff that I was not told going into this. So I'm not telling people don't do HomeShare. And if you get a great match and, it's just an easy kind of fit for you, and you have the extra room, and you can afford the extra, money for, the food and whatnot after, you make everything, you make all the allotments, then fine, it could be a good fit. But yeah, ask the hard questions. Don't go into it naively, especially if you're taking on a high needs client. I'm probably going to make more of these videos, but I think I just kind of wanted to start with this. Yeah, dealing with the inconsistency, what they're saying with the funding. That was disappointing, to say the least. At the same time, we don't know. They say that it'll all get sorted out by the end of 2020. So that's, it's kind of like yay, or sorry, mid 2020, April or something of 2020. So yay, you have like a year and a half to just sit around waiting for them to figure out of, if they're going to, give you a few, extra breadcrumbs or not. So, but unfortunately, this is what I have found is the general. That's the level of communication and organization in a lot of cases at the top. So that's maybe that's just what people should know going in. If you have an easy client, if it's an easy fit, whatever, it's a little bit of a you've taken that disruption to your life and that kind of thing, and it's no big deal, or you do it part-time, or short-term, fine. Longer term, more difficult clients, really think about what you're doing. Really think about what you're doing. That's it for now. Zy Paris signing off. God bless. Take care.